letter from the Gantry.
Thanks, Neil. This may not be a thoroughly impartial observation, given that I've tried to get the better of this breed from my distant days in the school playground to what I think may well have been my final game, a charity match at Dartford at the age of 78. But today, I'm gunning for goalkeepers. Often they're very interesting characters, individuals within a team sport. Joe Hart is the latest to apply an intelligent perspective to broadcast analysis. Rob Green, Shay Given, Asmir Begovic and others possess sharp analytical minds. The former West Ham, Aston Villa and Leeds United custodian Mervyn Day has been a long-time friend. Through Merv, I learnt the psychology needed in a profession where the stars of one game can be the ones to blame in the next. It takes a special type of temperament. Why then have current keepers allowed themselves to be a major source of time wasting and gamemanship? Well, first of all, because Law 12, which is still in the rule book, is never enforced. Under fouls and misconduct, I quote, a goalkeeper is allowed to hold the ball for a maximum of 6 seconds. Once the goalkeeper has possession, he or she must release the ball into play within the designated time frame. Failure to do so results in an indirect free kick being awarded to the opposing team from the spot where the goalkeeper committed the violation. But I wager very few of you have seen a referee enforce that regulation, which was brought in back in 1998. Shortly after that, I commentated on a game in Scotland. I'm pretty sure it was at Dundee United, and a goalkeeper was penalised for this offence. Then, in a more high-profile context, 10 years ago, Liverpool's Simon Mignolet held onto the ball for 22 seconds in a Europa League tie against Bordeaux. The indirect free kick was given, and Bordeaux found a way to score following it. But despite the offence being an every-game occurrence, the custom and practice from the refs has been to play on, to turn a blind eye. Hanging on to the ball has become a way of running down the clock. At the start of last season, there was a crackdown on illegal time wasting. Outfield players were yellow-carded for delaying a restart, or in more common parlance, kicking the ball away. The interpretation of the law was strongly enforced, and players by and large recognised the fact that what was, prior to that change of tack, common practice is still under scrutiny. Delaying is the key word. It can be costly, even over a very short distance, as Declan Rice found out earlier this season against Brighton. I believe the game is slightly quicker and better because of this refereeing process. Another recent change is that outfield players who've had to have treatment on the field and then have to go off before they can return now have to wait 30 seconds after the restart before they get waved back into the action to discourage using an apparent injury as a disrupting tactic. Just a little tweak, but based on logical thinking. But goalkeepers do not have to go off if they drop to the ground and need on-field treatment. Even if a referee suspects, as is quite likely, that this is a charade, he dare not let play go on, because who is he to disagree with the team of medics who are administering the treatment? You must have noticed that this is the signal for the outfield players to dash towards the technical area. They take on water in the name of rehydration, but the proximity of their manager and coaches allows tactical instruction. We now have quite clearly unofficial tactical timeouts. The apparently stricken goalkeeper is the trigger. It's not out of the question, believe you me, that the TV companies will be scheduling commercial breaks in these choreographed pauses in play if they are allowed to continue. The lawmakers are aware of these disruptions to the tempo of a game which prides itself on free flowing. Next season, an 8-second rule for keepers, which has been trialled in other leagues like Premier League 2, will be introduced and hopefully vigilantly enforced. However, if a keeper goes over the 8, the punishment won't be the indirect free kick in the penalty areas before. Instead, it will be a corner. Even so, this should at least dilute the problem of hanging on to the ball for excessive periods of time. As for the camouflage of injury, the officials don't like being fooled and want to do something about it. One serious suggestion is that every time a keeper needs treatment, an outfield teammate has to go off the field and stay off for the 30 seconds after the restart. It would make the coaches perhaps more reluctant to use what is essentially a dark art, and would get the keepers off this particular hook. At the moment, the goalkeepers are only doing what their bosses are telling them to do, but it is a loophole that has to be closed.
Two things on that. I agree with you entirely. I personally think that when a goalkeeper catches the ball and then dives to the ground and lies around looking at everybody as if to say, aren't I a clever boy or aren't I a clever girl, they should be booked for ungentlemanly or unladylike conduct, which is still a bookable offence. And if somebody says, oh, but why should a referee know whether the goalkeeper had to go to ground or not? The answer is, don't care. You brought this upon yourself. Shut up. You're carded.
I just like to think that they should concentrate on what they've been picked to do, because
they've been picked to play with their feet. They're not picked to play with their hands.
But I accept that is part of the coach's modern interpretation of it. But falling to the ground and allowing everybody to run over to the other side because when the trainer comes on or the physio comes on, the goalkeeper doesn't have to go off. If you don't realise why, it's because it's a very specific position. You can't play 30 seconds without a goalkeeper.
Also, if they go and give a corner next season, rather than an indirect free kick, you'll just get all the jostling in the 6-yard box that you get now. The referee will spend 10 minutes talking to everybody before the corner kick's taken, and it'll be a longer delay. I've just experienced a game in which there were 2 4-minute stoppages for VAR, and goodness knows how many stoppages for the referee talking to people jostling before set plays. The referee, I was delighted on the Sky commentary when I look back at the game afterwards, the Chelsea-Tottenham game afterwards. It's one of, I can't remember, was it Alan Smith doing it? Brought it up. Don't referee go and talk to them in the penalty area. Just blow your whistle if there's a foul when the ball comes in. Just get on with the game. Do not get involved. The game is not about referees. Just blow your whistle and carry on. That should be on every chest. Not keep calm and carry on. Blow your whistle and carry on. Don't do anything else, and don't blow it too often. But I agree. Goalkeepers are a pain in the backside.
Well, they've been forced into this situation. I'm sure they love doing it because it gives them a period of attention.
I've said this on here before, but in this season, several times when my team has scored a goal, the captain of the day, which has been Enzo Fernandez, has run to the bench to get new instructions. I mean, what footballers? You don't have to be automatons. You think Kevin De Bruyne runs to the bench to get instructions? Has he ever done that?
Yeah, he's actually disagreed with the instructions.
Well, exactly. He just ignores it. That's why he's been the best midfielder in the world. No, I agree with you. Goalkeepers, just get on with the game.
It's got to be spelt out because the reason I said about the TV companies is when the North American Soccer League was brought in the late 1960s, early 70s, and lasted till the early 80s, didn't it, before it went bust. There was a lot of pressure because the American sports have natural breaks in it. So the commercials, they didn't want to put a 45-minute half out without commercials in it. And so the players might have even been instructed we've got to have an injury break. So go down and we know we can do it. Now, if it's going to be a tactical timeout, officially in the laws of the game, I'm telling you the commercials will come.
Yeah.
Look at the IPL.
Yeah. That's absolutely shocking. And I can think of a lot of owners who would want that.
I can think a lot of television companies would want it as well. It's revenue, isn't it?